What's the point of making all the money, having an amazing lifestyle for 4 or 5 years, and then boom, something happens and you're bankrupt? Look at the amount of athletes that go bankrupt after they retire. Look at the amount of celebrities that end up losing everything. So the question is, how much financial security do you want to have? How much savings? How much investments? Welcome to our channel, everyone. It's awesome to have you with us. I'm so excited about today's topic. Today, we're gonna talk about how we can actually figure out what we want to do with our lives. Now, it doesn't matter how old you are when you're watching this. You could be 17, 16, you could be 25, you could be 35, you could be 45. The things that I'm gonna go over with you is the ways that I believe we can come to a better conclusion of how we wanna shape our future and what we wanna create. Let me give you a quick background of myself. Growing up, I wanted to be a professional soccer player, and that's all I wanted to do. Ever since I could remember, I was 4, 5, 6 years old. That was my main goal. Everything I did was tailored around that goal. Everything that I thought about was tailored around that goal. At the age of 18, I realized that as good as I had become, I wasn't good enough to make it as a professional soccer player. And at that point, I was given the best gift that I believe anyone can be given: the pain of regret. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell does that mean? Why would you want to have the pain of regret? Look, in my opinion, it's a lot better to get that pain at the age of 18, 19, 20, even 30, even 40, than it is at the age of 70, 80, 85, 90. So for me, when I got that pain, it kind of woke me up. I realized, look, just because I believe I can do something or I want to do it isn't enough for me to actually get there. If I don't have the right strategy, if I don't have the right plan, if I don't have the right moves that I've set up, it's not gonna happen. So I made a decision. I said, no matter what I decide to do with my life going forward, I'm gonna give it everything that I have with all the resources at my disposal, and I'm gonna work my butt off at it. So whether I succeed or not, I don't have to ever look back and think I wish I had done more. I never have to feel the pain of regret. And that kind of lit a fire inside of me that has been driving me to this day. Then one day I came across an audiobook by Brian Tracy called The Psychology of Selling. And that audiobook opened my eyes. It opened my eyes to the fact that I could become a business owner without necessarily going through academics. It opened my eyes to the fact that I can read books, and through books I can expand my knowledge and point of view. And that really started a new vision, a new dream for me. And even though at that point I didn't know what I wanted to do, it inspired me to do two things. One, it inspired me to start reading. So I started reading one book a week on success, on business, on mindset. And one of the books that I read was called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And that book really gave me a good understanding of what it means to set goals, of what it means to plan your future, and the importance and the value behind it. You see, most people spend a lot of time planning a nice trip. If you're gonna go on a nice trip and spend 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever amount of money that you're gonna spend on it, what do? You just pay the money to random stuff and hope that it ends up well? No. You sit down and first you decide, who do I wanna go with? Once you decide who you wanna go with, what's the next step? You decide, where do you want to go? Once you decide where you want to go, what's the next step? You figure out what you need to get there. Should I take a car? Should I take a plane? Should I go with a cruise? Should I go with a train? So you find the vehicle. Then you find out how much it's going to cost you. If you have the money, great. If you don't have the money, you find out how to find the money to go there. Yes or no? A lot of planning, a lot of thinking, a lot of time goes into setting yourself up for a great trip. But how much time do we actually spend planning our life? How much time do we actually spend figuring out how our future is gonna look? Here's the answer for most people, unfortunately: 0. You know, it's funny. Most people go the opposite way of how they should plan a trip. See, when you wanna plan a trip, you first decide the destination. And then you decide everything else. Because if you don't know the destination, then how the hell do you know what kind of vehicle you should take or whatever? But you know what I've observed? Most people, young, old, whatever, they never think about the destination. All they care about is the vehicle. Oh, should I go to school? Should I get a job? But what the hell does the vehicle mean if you don't know where you're going? You should first figure out where you're going and then find the vehicle that's going to get you there. But unfortunately, because many people don't know this, they never teach it to others, so we kind of just go about life asking ourselves questions that kind of lead us to nowhere. So today I'm going to show you what I did to create the life that I created. You know, when I was 19, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I made a few decisions. I made a decision that I'm going to make $85,000 a month before the age of 27. And I'm going to show you why I made that decision and how it came to be. After I made that decision, I fell into some opportunities where I could create some big things that could get me that result. And I made goals to go with that. In fact, let me show you. All these notebooks you see here, and there's a few more that I've lost. There's a few more that probably are not in the best condition for me to even show you, are filled with what? They're filled with my plans. They're filled with my goals. They're filled with my strategies. It's funny to me, so many people are so keen to share great quotes on Instagram. Play chess, not checkers. Be strategic. You know, and they're so inspired and so moved by this. But how strategic are we with our lives? How much planning do we put into it? Look, all this stuff you see here, I started all these books when I was 19. Okay, some of them came on later. Many of them came on later. But the reality is, everything that I've achieved was already written in these books long before I achieved it. I made $96,000 in 1 month at the age of 26 before I became 27. I built huge sales organizations. You know, all the goals that I set in these books, I've achieved now. And there is many more. I've planned the next 10, 15, 20 years of my life as well. And I hope many of you are with me as you watch me kind of go through those and make it happen. I'm not showing you this to intimidate you. I don't want this to scare anyone off. I don't want you to think that you need to go through all this. I just want to show you that nothing happens by accident. I'm not necessarily smarter. I'm not necessarily super, disciplined compared to others. I'm not necessarily the hardest working person on the planet. All I did that most people don't do is I took some time to plan. I took some time to strategize. I took some time to ask myself good questions. And just like how you do that and you go on a great trip, I did that with my life and it's been great so far and it's going to only get better. So let me go into it. Let me show you my process. I want to go through the process that I went through to do this. I want to show you kind of how I came to these thoughts. And my goal is for you to be able to, if not replicate what I've done, at least be inspired to do your own version of it. So let's go through it. I've broken this down to 5 main parts, 5 major parts of how to not only plan and strategize your life, but also take action and create it. Number 1, you got to figure out the 2 major parts of your life. Look, in my opinion, there's 2 major areas of everyone's life that they need to plan and figure out. One is your lifestyle. The other is your purpose, what you're going to give back to the world, what kind of value you're going to add to others. If you only focus on lifestyle, I'm sure you'll end up being rich and have a great lifestyle. But you know what? You won't be fulfilled. You'll feel an emptiness inside of you. If you only go for purpose, I'm sure you'll find a way to give back and help others. But you might find yourself drained because you ended up helping everyone except yourself. So I believe the right way to do it is to take care of both. Figure out your lifestyle that would make you happy. Figure out the purpose and the way you want to give back to make other people happy. And by the way, in turn, this makes you even happier than anything else. I'll share this with you right now. I've been making about $1 million a year for the past 2-3 years since I was 26. And I'm telling you, the money doesn't excite me anymore. Maybe in the beginning it was really fun, it was exciting, I was proud of myself, oh my God, look at what I did. After 6, 7, 8 months of making 80, 90, 100, 115,000 a month, to be honest with you, it kind of gets to a point where it's like, okay, same old, same old. I'm so grateful, I'm so happy with it, I appreciate what I have, don't get me wrong, but what fulfills me, what excites me, what gives me joy is my purpose, is my ability to give back to others, is me being able to teach others what I've done so they can do it maybe even better and faster than I did it. That's what excites me. That's what keeps me going, and that's what gives my life joy. So that's why I believe those 2 areas are the most important areas that we need to focus on. So now that we've established that, let's go over this next part. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions you ask yourself. So let me share with you some quality questions that I ask myself when it comes to the lifestyle that I wanted to create, the purpose and the way I wanted to give back, and the way I came up with it when I was 19. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I just came up with this at 19 and then just left it. It evolved as I evolved. You know, one thing that I want to let you know is just because you write something on paper doesn't mean it's set in stone. It's okay to change. It's okay to have different vision as you grow. It's okay to, I started with a certain idea of what I wanted when I was 19, and that's evolved and that's become better. But I'm gonna go over some of the questions, and you can ask yourself these questions. You can ask a different variation of it, totally up to you. I'm just gonna go over what questions I ask myself. So when it came to lifestyle questions, I think that's a much easier part, especially in the Western culture, than maybe the purpose one. So let's start with that. So here are the lifestyle questions that I ask myself. How much time freedom do I want to have? You know, so many of us, we like to start off with what kind of houses do I want, what kind of cars, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what's more important than your time? So the first two questions I asked myself was, how much time freedom would I like to have? In terms of, do I want to be the type of person that's stuck in their business, that works 14, 16 hours a day? Sure, they make good money, but they're so stuck in what they're doing that they can't even enjoy the money. Do I want to be that person? Or do I want to build a lifestyle where I have freedom of time, where I can do what I want with who I want when I want it? Now, if that means I want to work 17 hours, I choose to do that. If it means I want to go on, on 3 vacations in a row and spend 7 months on vacation, I can also do that. I wanted to have that level of time freedom. That's the first thing I established for myself. The second thing I established for myself, do I want to work for myself or do I want to work for someone else? Look, growing up, my dad has always been a successful entrepreneur, at least since I've been around. One of the things that I noticed when I was a kid was when other people around me, other classmates, they wanted to go on vacation and they would ask their father, hey dad, when can we go on this trip? Usually the response they would get from their father was, let me ask Mr. Smith. Let me ask so-and-so, their manager, their boss, so I can see if I can get the time off. With my dad though, when we asked, hey, when do you want to go on vacation? When can we go on this? My dad would say, let me check my schedule. You might disagree with me on this part, but for me, I never wanted to be in a position where I have to ask another man or woman or another entity for permission to take my own kids to vacation. Now, I don't have kids yet, but I'm sure I will in the future, and I don't want to be in that position. I didn't want to be in that position where I have to convince someone that I'm sick so I can't go to work. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to take the responsibility of my success and my failure, and I wanted to have control over where I'm going. So I established that from the beginning. And I made a decision. Some people go, oh, I want to go get a degree so I have a plan B in case my business doesn't work out. I can go work a job. Dude, I didn't want that plan B. I would rather be homeless than have to listen to someone else for the rest of my life. Okay, you need to work a job for a time until you get your business going. Totally get it. You need to work a job for some time until you have the resources to go on your own and make it happen. I totally get it. I'm not against that. But I would never want to be in a position where I settle for working a job for the rest of my life for someone. So I established that at that point. Here's a couple other questions that I asked myself. Who do I want to help financially? For some of you, it might be wanting to retire your parents. It might be wanting to give back to a certain charity. Who do you want to help financially? And how much do you want to give to that entity or to that person? What kind of home do you want to live in? Do you want to have multiple homes around the world? Do you want to have one beautiful home? What kind of home? Do you want to be someone that lives in the middle of a jungle? If that's you, that's okay. But you got to figure it out. What kind of home, what kind of life you want to be waking up to every morning? Here's another question I asked myself. What kind of cars do I want to drive? I'm not a car person. I'll be honest, I could care less about cars. I don't know what kind of cars are cool and what are not. I never cared about it. It was never my thing. You might think that that's weird. Fair enough. Maybe I'm a weird person. But for me, I still wanted to be in a position where I could get whatever car I wanted. So at that point, even though I still didn't care about cars back then, I was like, these are the type of cars that I would want to be able to afford. Now, whether I want to actually get it or not at that point, that's my choice. But these are the type of cars that I want to have the ability to have if I want to have them. Here's another question. How many vacations do you want to go on every year? How many times do you want to go with your family to different places and you pay for it and you take care of it? How much financial security do you want to have? What do I mean by financial security? How much money do you want to have in savings and investments? What's the point of making all the money, having an amazing lifestyle for 4 or 5 years, and then boom, something happens and you're bankrupt? Look at the amount of athletes that go bankrupt after they retire. Look at the amount of celebrities that end up losing everything. Now, nowadays, I believe these individuals have gotten smarter. They hire people. They get the right resources in place so that doesn't happen. Respect. But for many years, you see so many people get really rich and then lose it all. So the question is, how much financial security do you want to have? How much savings? How much investments? Figure all of this out. Now, let me tell you why this doesn't work for a lot of people. Because if you're going to sit there and do this based on what you think you can have, if you're going to sit there and do this based on going, oh, I don't know if I'm smart enough, I don't know if I can do it, I don't know how to do it, this exercise doesn't work. This exercise doesn't work with you doing it with the limitations that other people have set on you and limitations that you've set on yourself through your programming. If you really want this to work, you got to do it without any limitations in your place. Now you're like, Nima, does that mean that anyone can do anything? I believe people can do way more than they think they can do. Do I think that I can be as good as LeBron James in basketball? No. Of course, there's a limitation in my physique, in my talents, in things that he has that I don't have. But can I not be good at basketball? If I work 3-4 years in becoming a better basketball player, I go every day and shoot hoops, I get coaches. You don't think I can be a good basketball player? I think anyone can be good at anything. You can be a good guitar player, you can be a good basketball player, you can be good at whatever. Now, when we talk about greatness, now we got some limitations that we might want to consider. Okay, I'm never going to become a great basketball player. Fair. I'm never going to maybe become a great musician. Maybe I don't have the type of outlook on music that some other greats have. Fair. But there is things that I can be great at, and there's things that you can be great at. Here's the thing you need to figure out. What it is that you can be great at, and then you go all in into that. But here's the thing. Greatness makes you hundreds of millions of dollars. Being good can make you millions. But most people watching me right now, they think that they can only get to 100,000 a year. They can only get to 200,000 a year. They think that they can only have a limit. You're wrong. I promise you, you become good. Good means you can make millions of dollars. Great means you can make hundreds of millions of dollars. Look at most industries. Greats are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The good are worth at least millions of dollars. The okay are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the ones that are mediocre, bad, whatever, they fall where they fall. But I truly believe you can be good at whatever you want. You can only be great at a few things. And honestly, most people, when you're writing this list down, as long as you're good, you can probably make it happen. Now let's talk about the purpose questions. But before I do, I want to just share something. I want to tell you why this exercise really works if you do it right. The exercise works if you do it right, not because it's going to help you figure out what you can do or how you can do it. It's going to eliminate all the things that you can't do. I'll say that one more time. The reason this exercise works is not because it's going to give you the how-to by doing these questions. It's not necessarily going to give you the exact thing you're going to do to make it happen. But here's what it's going to do for sure. It's going to eliminate all the things you can't do. When I decided that I'm going to make $1 million a year by the time I'm 27 and I'm 19, here's what I realized. I can't be an engineer that goes to school for 4 years, gets a degree, comes and gets a job. Because by the time I get a job and go start with that, I'm 25, 26, I'm nowhere near $1 million with that path. Okay, that I can't do. I can't be a doctor at that point. Because to be a doctor, it's going to take at least 10, 12 years. I'm going to be 28, 29, 30 before I can even start working as a professional doctor. Forget about making millions of dollars doing it. Okay. I can't do a lawyer because being a lawyer takes a long time. By the time I'm a lawyer, I'm way past probably the age of 27 by the time I start my firm and make money. So what that did for me was it eliminated all the things that I couldn't do. So it killed all my distractions. I knew at that point when I set that goal that by 27 I want to make that much, academics, university, not my path. Eliminated that option. It told me, okay, going and becoming the regular occupations that everyone else tells me to do, you know, the Persian culture, right? You're either doctor, lawyer, engineer, or homeless. That's when your parents kick you out. I'm like, okay, that game plan's not going to work out for me. I'd rather be homeless than be one of these three, because if I'm one of these three, I don't achieve my dreams anymore. Now, if your dream is aligned with these three, God bless you, make it happen. We need those professions. I'm just saying, for me, when I did this exercise, it eliminated all the things that I couldn't do. So then it allowed me to focus on what? Finding the things that could actually get me there. We all have something called a reticular activation system, which means you find what you look for. So when you do this questionnaire, your reticular activation system gets way more focused. So now your mind starts to look for the things that can make you, in my case, $1 million a year by the time I'm 27. 85,000 a month by the time I'm 27, whatever. So that's why this works so well. And if you do it seriously and you really make it happen and you go after it, your life will change forever. Here are the purpose questions. And for purpose questions, again, just like the lifestyle one, it can evolve. Nothing is set in stone. But start this exercise and it'll get your mind working. Here are some of the questions I asked myself. What did I struggle with or want challenge or had challenges in that I needed help with, that I needed to deal with? And I wrote a few lists. This. Okay. What have I helped other people with? And I felt great after I helped them with. I made a couple lists. Okay, I've done this. Who are people that I am inspired by? Who are people that made me, want to make new decisions? Who are people that pushed me to a different direction? How did they inspire me and why did they inspire me? I wrote down some stuff there. What matters most to me? What do I care about? Wrote down some stuff there. And then I came down with a few different things that kind of aligned together. And let me share with you what I came up with at that point and what is still true to me today. I went, look, growing up, I had a big dream. No one supported me. I needed support. I needed people to tell me, hey, you can do it. You're going to make it happen. But to be honest with you, most people, when I told them I want to be a professional soccer player, kind of laughed me off, told me that I'm not going to make it. I said, okay, support was something that I missed. Now, my parents supported me in whatever way they could. Don't get me wrong. But I'm talking about support from maybe resources like what you're watching today, maybe books. I was missing that at that point. Okay, so I wrote that down. I felt like I was always an underdog. I felt like I was like a black sheep. I felt like because my academics were never good, I never cared about school, I never paid attention to it, a lot of people kind of looked down on me. They kind of looked at me like, oh, this kid's not getting good grades, so he's probably never going to become anything. Family members, friends, whatever. Okay, so you know what? I was missing some people believing in me. I was missing a direction that told me, look, you don't need to be academically smart or academically strong to become successful in life. I didn't have that messaging come to me. Okay, I got that down. No one was telling me what I should focus on growing up. Yeah, a lot of people told me you should get good grades. Okay, what does that even mean? A lot of people told me you should stay. But no one told me, hey, you should plan your life. No one told me, hey, you should come up with purpose. No one told me, hey, you should sit there and figure out what things you can be great at. No one gave me that instruction. So I sat down and I looked at all that. I said, you know what I want to do? I want to make a lot of money so I can have the lifestyle that I want. But more importantly, I want to be standing on a podium where other people are willing to listen to me so I can share the messages with them that no one ever shared with me. I want to be at a level where people watch my videos and they go, man, this guy gave me a couple good tips. I'm going to go act on it. I'm going to go and do this. I want to make audiobooks and I want to make things happen where people listen to it and changes their perspective, changes the way they think. It kind of gets them out of the rat race mentality, out of the what everyone else does mentality. So my thing was, I'm going to do everything that I can to reach my full potential because that inspired me. Thinking about how I can be a better version of myself, how I can grow in different areas, pumped me up. And I'm like, as I do that, I want to inspire other people to get on the same path. Look, I don't care if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, businessman, janitor. I don't care what you want to be. My mission is to inspire you to be the best at that particular thing. I believe if all human beings become the best at what they've designated as their occupation, as their way of giving back to life, the world becomes a 10 times better place. If you're a plumber and you decide to be the greatest plumber, you're going to make the world a better place. You're a doctor, you decide to become the greatest doctor, you're going to make the world a better place. You're a businessman, you decide to be the greatest businessman, you're going to make the world a better place. You're an engineer, you decide to be the greatest engineer, you're going to make the world a better place. I just felt the world is going to be a much better place if all of us decide to become the best at what we do. So that became my biggest purpose. I'm like, I want to inspire other people to not only know how to become the best, but also want to become the best. Okay. Number 2, look for who, not how. Look for who, not how. So many of us distract ourselves looking for what? How do I do this? What kind of job, what kind of business, what kind of thing do I need to do to have this lifestyle? And how distracts you from who? Look, this is my opinion. You want to be a doctor? Let's say I have kids in the future. My kids going, I want to be a doctor. I'm going to tell them, you're not allowed to become a doctor until you go work for free in a doctor's office for a year. You want to become an engineer? You're not allowed to become an engineer until you go work for an engineer company for 1 year for free. And by the way, I promise you, everyone will take you if you decide to do it for free. Just tell them, just tell the doctor, I'll grab coffee for you, I'll be your personal assistant, just let me hang around you for 1 year. I'll do anything you ask me. I promise you, very few doctors in your community are gonna say no to that. Very few engineering companies are gonna say no to that. Very few businessmen are gonna say no to that. One, because everyone likes to help others. And when they see a hungry person who wants to improve, who wants to get better, people kind of wanna give something back to that. Second of all, everyone is looking for more help. Everyone is looking to delegate. So if you're gonna offer to do that for free, trust me, they're gonna take it. Now you're thinking, why would I do it for free? So that they actually let you do it. You're like, well, what's the benefit for me? The benefit is you don't end up going to school for 12 years, become a doctor, and realize you hate it. The benefit is you don't go to school for 4 years, become an engineer, realize you hate it. The benefit is you don't go down a path that someone told you is a good idea, end up getting there and go, man, I hate my life. You can avoid that kind of cost by working for free for someone who's already doing it for 1 year. What are you gonna find? Very easy. You're gonna find out exactly if this is something you wanna do or not. You're gonna find out if that's the kind of lifestyle you want. You're gonna figure out if that's something that you wanna be when you grow up, whatever that means. By the way, when I say when you grow up, it could be you could be a 50-year-old and you wanna grow up by the time you're 60. It's not an age thing, it's a mentality thing. But I think it makes so much sense. Before you dedicate so many hours, so much money, so much energy into something, go freaking figure out if it's for you or not. So that's one thing that looking for who will do instead of looking for how. Here's another one. They can actually teach you what they did. They can actually show you the path. And not only can they show you the path and teach you how they did what they did, they can inspire you for you to actually take action on it. I'm sure if you Google enough, you might be able to find some house. I'm sure if you chat GPT enough, you can find some house. Here's the problem when you just find how but know who. You'll know what to do, but no one's there to inspire you to do it. No one's there to challenge you. No one's there to push you. No one's there to move you in that direction. So another reason why who, not how, it's because the who is gonna push you in ways that other people can't push you. They've already done it. They know what it's like. They know the rewards and they know what you need, even though you don't know what you need. That's why being 100% coachable to mentors is so important. Last but not least, by learning from them, you can learn what they did well and what they did bad, so you can do what they did faster and maybe even better. If you're a mentor, if you're a coach, and you're genuine, you really want to give value, you should want your people to beat you. Because if the people that you're leading, if the people that you're mentoring get worse results than you, you're a bad teacher. If the people you're leading, people you're mentoring get just as much results as you, you're a decent teacher. You want to be a great teacher, you want to be a kingmaker, beautiful. Show someone how to do what you did faster and better. If not faster, at least better. And that's what a great leader is. Every generation is supposed to make the next generation better. That's how we evolve as human beings. I said the example earlier. Athletes used to go bankrupt. Celebrities used to go bankrupt. A few of them went bankrupt, and then the new athletes and the new celebrities kind of looked at it and was like, you know what, maybe we should have a better game plan here. So then they hired some investment managers. They hired some people to take care of their money. They start to think a little bit smarter. Okay, so every generation needs to be better than the last generation. If that doesn't happen, we fail. As leaders in your industry, you fail if the next generation is not better than you. My opinion. So look for who, not how. You find the who, the how will take care of itself. Number 3, set proper goals. What is a proper goal? It's got to be tangible. I want to be better is not tangible. Example, let's say you want to have a fitness goal. I want to be healthier is not a goal. But you say, I want to have this much weight by this time, that's a goal. I want to have this much body fat percentage by this time. It has to be a tangible goal that you can measure. If you can't measure it, it's not a goal. Here's what else it needs. It can't only be tangible and measurable, it also needs a date attached to it. Nima, why do I need a date? Where's the urgency going to come from if you don't have a date? If your teachers let you take exams whenever you wanted, well, let me speak for myself. If my teachers in high school let me take exams whenever I wanted, I'd still be in high school. As I'm recording this, I'm 29 years old, so that would be pretty bad. So I'm glad that they put exam dates, so on Sunday night I went crazy studying so I could pass the exam on Monday. I'm glad there was due dates on projects so I would go crazy studying or making it happen right before the project came. You got to treat yourself the same way. A lot of entrepreneurs are watching this. If you're an entrepreneur, let me share something with you. The only difference between you and an employee is one thing, who the boss is. The employee has a boss that keeps them accountable, that gives them due dates. You're an entrepreneur, you're the boss. You got to keep yourself accountable. You got to be the one that gives the due dates. Simple. So when you're setting a goal, it's got to be tangible and it's got to have a due date on it. Here's number 4. Once you figured all that out, you asked the great questions, you found out your lifestyle, you find out your purpose, you find the who, not the how, you set the proper goals. Here's number 4 that really sets apart the people who do this exercise and get nowhere and the people who do this exercise and make it happen. You got to act with courage and faith. You have to act with courage and faith. Let me share something with you. There is not a single great individual, whatever you deem as great, who's achieved greatness without people going against them. The whole idea with achieving greatness is you do the opposite of what everyone else does. Kobe Bryant worked out and practiced way more than anyone else did. And I'm sure there was a lot of coaches and players that looked at him and was like, dude, this guy's an idiot. Before he became great, right? You look at all the great inventors of our life, and I can name hundreds if I wanted to. I promise you, when the Wright brothers were like, let's put a plane on the sky, you think people supported them? People probably looked at them like, are you guys idiots? Like, you guys do some drugs? Like, what is going on here? There's no way the Wright brothers' parents or friends or family were like, yeah, let's go fly in the sky. What the hell does that even mean? All the great inventors, I promise you, all the greats got people that went against them, which is one of the reasons why so few people become great, because so many people would rather get the social validation than the actual results. You got to become the person that can take away the social validation and say, look, I'm okay with people making fun of me. When I started on this path at the age of 19, 20, everyone made fun of me. Everyone told me I'm stupid. Everyone told me you're going to become homeless. You're going to drop out of school. You're never going to become anything. I got that messaging to me all the time. And by the way, my success didn't happen right away. It wasn't until the age of 23, 24 when I started making 6 figures in business. It wasn't until the age of 26, 27 where I was nearing 7 figures and later on past 7 figures. So for a very long time, 3-4 years, people were going at me. But I was like, look, I know where I'm going. I know why I'm going there. And I know that you're not going to take me there, because if you had what I wanted, then you would have it. But you don't. So all these people that were naysayers that would tell me that I'm never going to become it, I didn't want to trade places with them. Here's my advice to you. Only take advice from people you want to trade places with in whatever area. There are some people you want to trade places with in financials, get financial advice from them. There are some people you want to trade places with in their relationship, get relationship advice from them. There's people in your life that you want to trade places with in sports, in athletics, in health, take advice from them. But only take advice from people in areas you want to trade places with them. Why would I take financial advice from a broke person? Why would I take health advice from someone who's freaking 100 pounds overweight or 50 pounds underweight and sick all the time? Common sense is actually more common than you think. I used to say common sense is not common. Here's what I realized. Common sense is common. Courage is not common. Common sense is common. Courage is not common. What do I mean? I think most people know what they should and shouldn't do. I think most people are smart enough to sit there and go, you know what? Maybe this is not such a good decision. Problem is, they don't have the courage to act on it because they're scared of what he or she or whoever might say about them, because they're scared of the judgment. Look, I don't care if you have common sense. You need to have courage though. Because even if you don't have common sense, there's mentors that can give you the common sense, but you got to have the courage to actually act on it. So act with courage and faith. And trust me, it's going to look way farther than it is for a long time before you get it. So faith is everything in that case. Last but not least, I'm going to finish with this. Focus on becoming the best. I promise you, if you're the best, the results will find you. If you're the best soccer player, teams will find you and will recruit you and you'll become pro. If you're the best content creator, your audiences will find you and they'll freaking give you the views and likes and comments on whatever you need. If you're the best salesperson, I promise you, you'll find your clients and you'll make the money you're meant to make. You're the best leader, you'll find the team that you're going to lead. If you become the best at what you do, the results will find you. But let me tell you what most people do. They focus on the results, so they quit too soon. They focus on the results, so they take shortcuts that don't make them the best, that actually make them the opposite. They focus on the results, so they feel down and unenthused, and they feel like, I don't know if this is for me all the time. And guess what? That keeps them from actually doing what they need to do to become better. For the longest time, it took me, I can't even tell you how much time I put in before I saw any results. But you know what kept me going? Every day I'm like, dude, if I become the best, they can't help but pay me. If I become the best, they can't help but pay me. If I become the best, they can't help but pay me. And I have the same mentality when it comes to my content making. This is a new channel. We're just starting. You want to be on the journey, subscribe, comment, like. Would love to have you. And I promise you one day you'll be like, dude, I used to follow this guy when he had 300, 400 views. Now he's getting 400,000 views. Now he's getting 4 million views. That day's coming. You might not believe in me. You might not think it's true, but I'm telling you that day's coming. But let me tell you how I'm going to make it happen. I'm not going to make it happen by focusing on the views and comments and likes right now. I'm going to make it happen by focusing on becoming the best. I become the best at making content, best at the production side, best at the marketing. I hire the right team. I promise you the audience will find me. But becoming the best gets you the results. Going for the results might get you opposite. Thank you for watching our video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, comment, and like. Keep following us. Keep following this journey with me. We're going to go to bigger and bigger places in the content game. If you're a salesperson, you want to know how to handle objections, you want to know how to communicate more effectively, I got a video right here for you. Watch it, like it, see where it goes. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.